Today's topics are about saving money on your printers and copiers in a business, the benefits of papercut software, and managed print services. Get that?
Gotcha. But, that's so vague. I mean,
I would say right off the bat is printing useless things in color. Number one way, fastest way to save money on printing. Don't print emails with one blue link in color.
Yeah, that's doable.
But it's really important to have that blue dot.
Not always.
I was being facetious.
And then the story that Curtis was telling us about, they printed out a PowerPoint, seen an error on page 2.
Oh yeah, 8 pages worth.
Fixes corrects the PowerPoint, reprints the entire thing over again, sees an error on page 4, corrects it, prints the entire PowerPoint presentation again. So,
wow.
Using the select and a specific page number, I would say is number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Getting away from ink in a business.
Right, versus toner.
Yep.
What's the average cost for HP inkjet printer?
For color?
Yeah.
They're inkjet 15-30 cents.
For a color page.
It just depends on how much color they put on it, but if they're doing, basically 10% coverage, I would say between 15 and 30 cents.
And then if you go
way
to
more, it's got to be. Yeah.
Toner-based printer.
Now that's a little better.
What, 10, 11?
Yeah. Yeah, because most people don't just, when they're doing color, they're printing the whole page in color. Here's the thing. Even if it's black and white and you choose color, it treats it as a full color page. So not only are you being, every color is being used, it's ridiculous.
And so it counts as a color copy.
Correct.
Even though you're printing
black.
What?
If your default is color, it still counts as color.
So if we printed this and I selected color, it gets treated as a color copy.
That's correct. And I verified that with a meter and a click. I printed out a status page, then I had them print one more, and sure enough, it clicked.
What?
And I was like, wow.
Huh.
So you got to be watchful of that.
So making sure your print defaults are set to black and white. I never
Correct.
realized that.
Yeah. That's probably the biggest way to save money, is to have those defaults set to black and white. I can't tell you how many customers have called me, Mike, what can we do about this color usage? I know we're not printing color. I go over there and I find out that every computer's set to print color. And they don't drop down, they just hit print. They don't choose black and white, they just print.
And that's just the settings. Easy fix.
Yep, it goes all the way back to the defaults.
You can, there are certain editors, print editors for your drivers that would eliminate printing color for certain people. You could say this person can only do mono, this person has access to color and mono.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do it that way, but there again, you need a good IT team to implement that.
Stay on top of that for you.
Now, user codes. Do people actually benefit from having user codes?
Yes.
Is that more of just a accountability thing?
Both. They really. I'll tell the customer. I have many customers that utilize user codes, not because they want to, because it's a big hassle. But after they've seen the bill, after they've gone through numerous battles with their people, okay, we're going user codes.
So do people put user codes on the machine and then get that monthly report and then go to Susie or John and say, listen, you're printing a lot of color? Or do you just take that functionality away from them? Like which one, how do they do that? Or what's the recommended way to do that?
The recommended way is to go to that person and say, hey, I've noticed you've been printing this.
As nice as
Do
possible.
not print that again. No. There's so many ways to do it. I have customers that actually bill. So they are allowed so many copies a month. And if they go over that, they understand that they're going to pay 25 cents for color.
They charge back the employees?
Man, some of them do that. So
A dollar a quote.
you're allotted so much a month. Yeah, I mean they're not gonna.
That's popular in real
overcharge
estate
them.
office.
If they go to Kinko's, what are they gonna pay?
$1.
Yeah.
Probably.
So if they're just doing like, just basic color, it's not bad. But there again, then you can go to the customer. To the staff employee and say, hey, we're gonna cut out color altogether. For your user code. You cannot print color. And that's what they do in some spots. We know a few customers that do that.
So that person now types in their user code and color doesn't even show up?
No. Or it will beep and say you do not have privileges, which is the way to do it. Another way to do it is to have a card, the card reader, and carry around those cards. And then when you swipe your copier, it's going to just allow you access to certain features on that copier. And everybody's different. Walk up, swipe, done.
Now on the Kiosera's, can't you even change what applications are displayed?
Yeah, you can do it on the home screen. So when you log in, your username, under your username, you can have it all programmed for just you. So
I could walk up to the machine and have fax capability, but he can walk up to the machine, swipe a card, and the fax button doesn't even show up?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is that utilized? Do people actually take advantage of things like that?
Mm-hmm. Not as much as I would like them to, but they do. I think this area is a little shy about stuff like that. Eventually they'll get there, but if we want to be more secure and eliminate a lot of cost and just run more efficient, I think customers need to implement card readers and some kind of security, because nobody knows what they're printing. Just
How
walk
about
up, swipe.
hold print or secure print?
That's a good one too, because
I don't see anybody taking advantage of
I
that.
try to tell the customer that, and some of them are like, yeah, okay. And I show it to them, and they're like, yeah, okay. But then they never use it. I used it on mine for a while. I just said, hey, I'm for a whole month. It was a big hassle because every time I hit print, where's my doggone print? And I gotta go to the copier and hit the pin number or whatever the code.
Now,
But it did decrease my paper usage. For instance, I throw away a lot of stuff. I print something, I'm like, it doesn't have this on it. It doesn't have this on it. I gotta print it again. But if you do that, if you secure print or whole print, it stays at the copier, and then you're like, oh, I forgot to put this. And then you can go to the copier and delete it. You don't have to print it out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're sitting here all day long printing stuff you don't need.
So, and explain to people what hold print or secure print is.
Well, secure print is like confidential documents, like checks. I have customers that they have a special printer over here that they want to print checks and they don't want nobody to see it. Why don't you use a copier? Because I don't want nobody to. We use whole secure print. Oh, I didn't think of that. So then when they see that, they're like, oh, well, this copier is faster than my printer. and the cost is cheaper. Let me do it on the copier. So yeah.
So the user prints something, it gets held in the machine
With a passcode, and nobody can see it. They can't even print it without a passcode.
Yep. So you just walk up to the machine, punch in your 4 digits, and then it releases it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think, and on certain machines, it might be hexadecimal, but I don't know for sure. Because I'm thinking, 1 digits. I don't know.
I wouldn't use 1, 2, 3, 4 as your password.
Correct. So that's why I'm kind of thinking it is. I need to check that one more time on my print drivers, so just to see, but I don't know how that's set up if it is ABC 1, 2, 3. But anyway, that's secure. Whole print is I just want to hold it, and then I want to walk up to the copier and print it out. I don't want excess. Or let's say you have an office of 10 users, and everybody prints to that sucker. Like here, we got, we print a lot to it, and sometimes I'll do the whole print. But a lot of times, now that we got our own printer in our office, that's awesome. Don't have to, everybody prints out to this one. But if I was to hold it, I could print all day and then come back, find my document, print it out. Oh, I need this one. I don't need this one. Delete. Oh, and also it'll delete after so many hours.
So you don't have to sort. I know I do that on this one a lot. I have to sort through 10, 15 pages to get mine out.
Oh, well, it'll delete them unless you tell it to. I think secure print is the same thing. If you don't print it out in so many hours, it deletes it. So you can't just leave it there for days and days and days. Store, you can. If you say I want to store that document and I want to print it,
it gets put on the hard drive then.
yeah.
Yep.
Then it stays on there.
Now, doesn't papercut have that same functionality?
Papercut does, yeah.
Secure print, hold print.
The advantage of papercut though over just a copier is papercut can do that now for your printers, your fax, your copier. So that's the advantage of that. Plus it keeps track of it and it gives you a printout so you know what you're doing. If you're just doing it on the copier and utilizing what comes with the copier that's standard, it's great, but it's not the full advantage and the benefits of papercut.
Right. So papercut essentially is the all-in-one fix for all the problems we just discussed for printers and copiers. You have a centralized management point, like your administration for it is just for all your printers and copiers is in one place, versus you'd have to do it for each specific one. And you can set a company-wide policy that prevents all the copiers and the printers from printing color or from printing so many pages of color, and then it automatically will track who has been doing that. So you can know who to go send a nice letter to for sending all the copied flyers.
So
all color.
What happens, company implements papercut and says nobody can print more than 25 color pages at a time. And I go click 26, what happens?
25?
Only the first 25 come out?
You have to tell it though. I think there's a place to tell it subsequently or immediately. So if they're running a particular job, it may go over one, and then but they won't be able to print after that.
So you get one strike.
Yeah. So
that next document, nope.
That's right. I was able to print my document, and then all of a sudden, But no, that's good though. It's a good feature because you don't want if you got to get something out on a timeline and you're missing that last page, that's some mean customers. They're gonna be mad.
So I'm looking at some more benefits of it. It has powerful job scripting, which I didn't really understand what that was, but so it can automatically route some of your larger jobs to the detected high volume printers. So if you have a bunch of printers and copiers, it can automatically route the jobs that you're trying to do to the printers that are more
cost effective.
Right. And as well as emails. So a lot of people want to print out a ton of emails.
Mm-hmm.
It also will have a pop-up to let you know, hey, this isn't really a thing you should be doing. Do you sure you want to proceed? So it's got constant notifications set up to minimize not only waste but your cost.
So if you go to print an email in color, you got to go through 2 checkboxes to say, yeah.
Yeah,
I want my
you
company
gotta
to pay
really
50 cents for this email.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And then for some of the larger corporations, it cuts back on your carbon footprint as well. It's starting to be a bigger deal.
Going green.
Mm-hmm.
I had some customers that they don't like the 2-sided, the 1 to 2-sided, which now everything is set default 1 to 2. If you notice that when you deliver a copier, it's, I got 2 sheets and it always does front and back. And the customer calls me and says, I don't want it to print front and back. I'm like, well, that's how you save. That's how you save paper. That's what the companies are going to now.
Literally twice as much.
And they understand. Yeah, they understand. They're not like, like really mean about it, but they're like.
And she didn't want to do it?
Huh?
She didn't want to do it?
No, they all want to change. They all want single-sided. So some companies, I do know, some of them don't mind it. Okay, yeah, that's fine. But I think like law firms.
Oh, that's right. That's like an etiquette deal. It's like proper documentation and stuff. It's only supposed to be one-sided. I didn't even think of that. That's like a.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So you can't do anything to them, and they
Like that's a law?
I don't think it's a law. It's just I don't know.
It's not a law. I don't think it's a law. I think it's just the
might
way
be.
you do things. Because think about it. When have you ever
It's a
seen
gentleman's rule.
Right? When have you ever seen like scripts or anything or stuff for a lawyer when there's pages of them? I have a ton of pages stapled together. It's always one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
We
That's
need
why
to
there's a ton of
change.
them.
We need to change the way
The industry.
Change the world.
Change the world.
We hope enough of them.
That's right.
Policies.
So I'll let you be the one to go talk to them. This is what.
Listen, I know
this is
what
our-
you're thinking.
That's right.
So we're on the topic of attorneys, and that's a favorite here. What's one thing that law firms could do to cut cost on paper?
Bill for it.
Bill for it?
Yeah. I don't know if it would cut costs, but it would recover costs, which is
Yeah.
better than cutting costs. In
Better than
my
losing.
opinion. Yeah.
Which that's also another plug-in papercut.
Mm-hmm. Streamlines the billing process.
Yep.
It cuts out any human error involved. It syncs with all the billing software.
So user walks up to the machine, identifies their self,
Mm-hmm.
then selects the client, runs whatever copy jobs they want. Those numbers get automatically pushed into their client management software, best case PC Law, whatever, and then automatically billed out.
Done.
I think a lot of attorneys, I should say most attorneys now, don't even bill.
I've been running into that. Some of them still do, but a lot of them do the kind of like the maintenance agreement that we have. It's just you pay this much.
It's built into their hourly
It's built
rate.
into their hourly rate, correct?
Yep.
But even so, I mean, I think that that's one tiny aspect of papercut that, I mean, that's like throwing out a car because, I mean, it's got a hole in one tire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's still so many other avenues that you can explore with papercut. I mean, I think a lot of people underestimate the cost of paper in general. I mean, it can sneak up on you. It's a couple cents here and there, but I mean, you're printing. I mean, that one we had the other day had 3 million copies on it.
Mm-hmm. And I think even having some kind of tracking software or analytical software just to know
Mm-hmm.
what you're paying for.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And know who's costing you.
Yep. Yeah, because you could easily lose track of 20 desktop printers, 2 copiers. You're ordering everything one-off, so you just think, okay, I paid $60 a toner. Well, yeah, you ordered 14 this month.
Another fun fact about papercut: it's currently in use in over 50,000 organizations in 100 different countries, and translated into 20 languages.
I didn't know it was in 20 languages.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a big deal.
Now, I did see they come out with Find Me printing.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Find Me printing. I was just looking at that. Trying to give you.
If I'm over here, if I need to get my copies from, and this one's in use, I can go get it over here. It'll print it wherever you go.
Now, what's the difference
you're
between
putting a number in?
It enables users to print to a global virtual queue.
So you print to the print server.
Correct.
Go to whatever machine you want to. So it's hold me print on a big scale.
And you can send versus sending the one in the service room, I'm right here, so I'll just send it to that one.
So you go to the copier, click the papercut app, say release this. Okay.
Yep.
That's a neat feature.
Yeah.
Those attorneys with like the east wing and the west wing and the fourth floor.
Oh yeah,
That'd
I
be
had some customers that have several copiers, and they would kind of.
And you can switch it up. Support for multiple release methods ranging from auto release on authentication to active release job by job.
So you could even use that. Say I'm a user in the north wing. You just print it, call up Susie, say, hey, I printed it. You could go up to whatever machine you wanted to. No, I'm using fake ones. Susie, Joe, Jane, John. They're not real people.
Yeah, you could. That's true.
And papercut links with mobile and BYOD
Yep,
printing.
Your own device.
Not to be confused with BYOP.
Yep. Yeah, that's becoming big. People wanting to bring their own laptops, iPhones, iPads.
Yep.
And drinks.
Which is another reason why tacking back into security and stuff, that's why you need to have something like that in place, because everybody bringing their phones and their own devices can bring in all sorts of, safety hazards for the company, and it's always good to have a method in place.
Mm-hmm.
And to have something like this that can not only secure your printing, but prevent something from even being printed in the first place, regardless of what device it is or anything like that.
I think that's going to become an ongoing problem in the future, is the office equipment being an out for company data.
Yep.
Like people printing off certain lists that shouldn't be out. I think that's going to be a challenge in the future. Now, I know you can also do things like print watermarks or security tags on the bottom of print jobs with papercut. Like if I print something, that piece of paper is printed with branded green on the very bottom and the date I printed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a neat feature.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
I called a law firm out of town, and they told me they were using the kind of something similar to papercut. I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "What are you using?" He said, "Well, we use some kind of software that's a subscription." And I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Well, how's that working out? They get a bill once a month. Papercut is just a one-time thing, and the only thing you pay for is support after so many years."
Yeah, that's to get the updates and the latest versions.
Updates.
Yeah.
So really, it's inexpensive, and it's a great piece of software.
Yep. Going in, and you talked about this a little bit earlier, is managing a whole fleet of copiers and different printers too, but managed print services. I think we got those at a few attorneys that are liking them because they all tie into the papercut.
Yeah.
So combining your tracking and analytics plus moving from that ink world to a toner-based world, your printers cost the same as your copiers.
That's right. You're in papercut. If you're billing your clients for it, you're recouping that money.
Mm-hmm. Plus the longevity.
No, definitely.
Like a Kyocera versus a $400 printer.
Yeah. I mean, there's no comparison. I have customers that I sold, 18 years ago that still have Copiers. Some of their printers.
Yep.
And I just took some out.
What's the highest print count you've ever seen?
Oh, on a Copier? Oh, wow. Like just
mine would be 5 or 6 million on one copier.
on a printer? On a copier? Yeah, easy. But a printer, I've seen them over $1 million.
Okay.
And if you think about it, though, I don't know if you ever I'm sure y'all have, but if you go to, let's say you go to, somebody has a printer that's been there for 5 years, like an HP, and it's that old LaserJet HP from way back, the one that's 7,000, I think it was, and you're thinking, they got a high volume on this thing. It lasted forever. This thing must be good. And we don't know. It is good. But 200,000, 300,000 they print to it. And I'm like, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
That's all you printed? So, yeah, because they bought other ones along the way, and that one was over here. And then they moved that around. And
Yep.
the last person in gets the crappy
That's
HP.
They get the hand-me-down.
Short stick.
It's
But I've been looking at numbers, and people print. It's like a 60-40 split. 60% of paper gets put on all the printers, and the other 40 gets put on the copiers.
no, definitely.
Which is, it seems almost backwards.
Mm-hmm.
But a majority of paper comes out on the people's desktop.
Mm-hmm. There was a strategy that we would try to do years ago to eliminate that, or consolidate your printers into one copier. And now I think it's
Going
kind of
back
reversed. Well, because of convenience.
Yep.
This is the society of convenience.
That's
I
it.
mean, I want to I want to order some food, and I want somebody to deliver it.
Mm-hmm. Now.
Yep.
Waiter's big on that. So, yeah, that's how I am now. I hate to say it. I may want to delete that. I want people to know that, but
That's going on.
no, I like to cook. But anyway, I think that's it. People want convenience, and I have customers that say, I don't care about color. I'll print all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's your printer.
Yep.
We'll work on it. We'll fix it when it's down. You know.
Yeah, it's convenience versus cost.
Exactly. So I want it to print color, and that's what I want.
And I don't want to have to get up from this spot right here to do it.
That's right.
Yep. So what else is the benefit of managed print services for some of these people?
They're done with their printer. They don't have to worry about it anymore.
What do you mean?
Printers, okay, so in a facility that has over 100 printers, or maybe between 50 and 100, if you ask the IT people what's the most problemsome, how do you say that?
Problematic?
Problematic. What's the most problematic IT call that you get? And most of them are going to say it's that stupid printer.
Yep.
They'll call, my printer's jammed, it needs toner, it needs a drum. So why not have a print management service?
So
let us take care of it and never have to worry about it.
Because it includes the same type of service contract that a copier gets.
Exactly.
Toner, parts, labor, everything.
Mm-hmm. So it's hassle-free, peace of mind. Call us. We'll
Yep.
come out there.
It really doesn't make sense to not do it.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's convenient, it's super cost effective, and then not only do you not have to worry about Jane Doe banging on it because she tried to scan some staples, you got tech guys that know what they're doing coming in, not only can fix the problem but maybe prevent a future one just from being there on hands-on looking at the parts of it.
Here's something that people don't think about, and I'm going to raise it right now.
Oof.
All right.
Everybody, but I don't know, it's not big here, but eco-friendly is a big thing in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
But if you walk into somebody if somebody's office today and you lead off with that, they're going to kick you out. But why not go at Kyocera for just longevity? I have a customer that says, you know what, I'm not spending the money up front on a Kyocera. It is costly up front, but it's less for long term, right? Because you don't use as much consumables. Oh, I don't mind going to the store and spending $200 on a printer, throw away after 6 months. Okay, so you're throwing that away, and where does it go?
Landfills.
It keeps, where's it going to go? Most of the time, it never makes it there. They throw it in, they'll throw it in a trash can. So, what's going to happen? Eventually, they're going to be putting this much product out in a trash can or wherever, when they can have a Kyocera that's going to last them years and years. I mean, that's better for the environment. That's what we're looking for. If that's what you're looking for, and then go with this, this solution.
But you're right. It's one of many benefits of that.
Yeah.
Longevity, and when you get longevity, you get a lower toner cost of ownership. So you're right. They'll pay $200 for 10 printers, but they won't pay $500 for a good printer.
That's right. Here's another thing, toner. Okay, so I walk into a business and I see, I don't know how many different types of toners. You could go in their supply room and go, man, you have this many different toners. Oh yeah, we got one for you. Why don't you just get one that's the same printer for all, and just have one, couple of toners on the shelf? They don't think about that.
And didn't Kyocera, I want to say they kept the same toner cartridge, even though they upgraded the model.
Oh, wow.
Yep. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'd have to check into that. But I'll tell you what, Kyocera is working on everything. I mean, they're, as far as eco-friendly, because their toners turn into a waste toner bottle.
Yeah.
And so you're not throwing away that bottle until that bottle's used. So it's kind of, you just replenish.
Dual purpose.
Which I like.
But the waste toner cannot become toner.
Correct. We've had some customers. You can't just keep.
You can't cycle.
Now that is a good idea. We need to patent that. We're going to turn waste toner back into toner.
I think if they separated out waste toners and had a black only waste and cyan magenta.
Yeah.
Like the colored waste.
Well, it's got a lot to do with the charge too and the developer. So yeah, you couldn't do it, but that would be cool if you could.
That'd be cool.
But it put a lot of people out of business. Bad for the economy.
But eco-friendly.
That's right.
More turtles, man.
So what is there any other benefits of papercut and managed print services? Any other cost savings ideas?
Give me 2 seconds.
I need more coffee.
I think anybody can save money if you switch off a Xerox. We can put that out there for sure.
Well,
in case you were wondering, there's that.
There's definitely that one.
let's not say that too loud. Yeah.
What you mean? I will put that on a billboard.
Yeah. Well,
You heard it here first.
I didn't say that. But
man.
yeah, there's
AOP
many benefits.
39.5.
Papercut. Another huge thing I think is that you can scale up effortlessly and you maximize uptime and availability. Being that instead of having to go and set the settings on everything, every time you get a new printer, if you go to a bigger building, you acquire multiple printers and copiers. Instead of having to go into each one to do all your settings, you just plug it into the network.
And it assumes all
the pre-approved moves.
Huh. That does make it really easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes, you were on the Kyocera topic, right along with, what do they call it? Kyocera's KDA Connect. They can do KFS. Remote firmware upgrade. Customer called in and had a paper jam. They said they pulled the paper jam out, but it still had the code on there. One of our guys reset the trouble code, rebooted the copier, and everything was good. And he never left his desk. Took 4 minutes.
Wow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
That's real nice.
Talk
like
about
that.
convenience.
Yeah, that's eco-friendly. We burn 0 fuel.
I think we did hit upon a lot of points for print management services. So,
And I know definitely the chargeback on papercut, that's been going really well.
Yeah.
And papercut works with all manufacturers, right?
Mhm.
It works with R3,
yep.
Kyocera, Ricoh, Savin, Konica, and then it works with everybody else's,
Yep.
Even Xerox.
even Xerox. Even though they don't save you money, we can at least start the process. Awesome. That it?
That's all I got, boss.
That's a wrap.